Welcome to Jack Dodson's Racing Insider News, presented by Papa John's. Thanks for the pizza. Me and Chris have been chowing down. We got to thank our marketing partners. We got NC811, a GAC, Great American Company.
I just talked with Mr. G this week.
Oh, yeah?
And he's sending to come back on board with us again.
Nice. Bonder Brothers Distillery, Pepsi, which is also a drink of choice here at Langley Speedway. MPM Marketing, Factory Canopies, Black Acid Apparel if you need a shirt, Performance Plus Motor Oil, Safety Clean, and last but not least, but Langley Speedway. Thank them for allowing us to do the show here. And that, Jack.
All right, let's do the Smith's Wraps and Graphics Racing Roundup for this weekend. Wasn't a whole lot going on this past week in racing, except the Chili Bowl, and that was enough for a lot of people. Tanner Thorson ended up winning the Chili Bowl, and I know you probably watched every bit of it, didn't you, Vaughan? Did you watch a lot of it?
I actually didn't get a chance to watch much of it. I followed a lot of it on Twitter, but I actually had just a pretty busy week last week. So, I mean, I caught up. I saw most of it, when I can. I usually would catch like the main feature at night. And that was about it.
It was some good racing. I went and hooked up what I told you I was going to do the other day, and I got to see some of it. It's really cool. I like it.
Good deal.
I hadn't been watching that before. I mean, I'd see it like if it came on, they did the final race or whatever on TV.
Right.
I got to see it then. But that's all I've ever watched, and it was pretty interesting to see how they go about doing all that.
It is.
They also had the next gen test this past week at Daytona, and then they had the ARCA test come in. And Willie Mullins, who we've had on the show several times, ended up being the fourth fastest in ARCA test. In the ARCA test,
He had 6 other drivers down there.
He had 6 drivers with him, and so next week we're going to have him and 2 of the drivers are going to be with us next week on the show, and Willie's coming here.
Oh, who's the 2 drivers?
Blake Lothian. I can't remember what it. And this guy Brayton Laster, who Willie has signed to be his driver. And Willie's going to have 2 cars, and he's going to have this guy driving one of his cars, especially at Daytona. So that'd be pretty cool. And then I heard this past week that Sam Hunt has got his 2 drivers, Ryan Truex and Jeffrey Earnhardt.
That was a surprise. I didn't expect to see Jeffrey Earnhardt.
That was a surprise that he went that way with it.
He's been kind of quiet lately.
So I wasn't expecting that one. And then we want to send out our thoughts and condolences to John Yoke, Big John.
Yeah.
Down in the NASCAR world, fed everybody, did a little bit of everything.
I mean, he's been with Stuart Haas for
years.
As long as I can remember, he was the cook.
And then
I mean, all you had to do is say Big John, and everybody knew who you're talking about because he was a big guy.
Spanky went over there too.
He was.
Spanky went over there too, and then the 2 of them together. Man, that was pretty cool. So anyway, that's wasn't a whole lot of news from this past week. So we've got Vaughan Crittenden with us, general manager here, or promoter, general manager. I don't know the official titles.
Complaint department.
Yeah, that's what.
Complaint department. Well,
that's definitely one title. Yeah.
So you're not getting a whole lot of complaints right now. I mean, there's nothing to complain about.
No one's here to do it.
I'm sure they just call you.
Oh, they let me know. Don't worry.
And then we got Chris Bechtel, who what do you not do? I mean, I know you're a flagman at the Dixieland. You ran champ carts last year.
For the last 8 years.
Last 8 years. Well, I'm just talking in last year. You did champ carts. And now you're going to go Pro 6 racing. And, it's really good. And I got some stickers to put on your car. Okay. You put on your car because there's a guy in that division that doesn't want to run our stickers. I think we'll call no names. He's also on the show. So,
Vaughan?
So anyway, yeah. So we'll have to get you straight on that. But Vaughan, have we got anything new that you want to pass on? I mean,
I mean, first off, I'll make this announcement. Thursday is the last day you can buy banquet tickets for this year's banquet. We have to let the city know for the Hampton Roads Convention Center on the 21st what our head count's going to be for that. So you need to buy your tickets for the banquet by the 20th.
Hard date.
That's a hard date.
Dock time.
I mean, if you come to us that weekend, the week after, and you're like, I can go, it's going to be too late this year. We honestly will not be able to do anything for you. So please buy your tickets if you haven't already. I know most people have. The count's pretty high, which is good. But yeah.
How many people do we usually have at a banquet?
We've had close to 500 sometimes. Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
I mean,
I was curious. I was like,
a lot of it depends on who won this year. If it's a big group, how many first-time champions did you have? If you got the guy who's won, 12 in the last 14 years, that kind of deal, it's probably just him, his wife, and a few of the crew guys.
Right.
But we got a lot of unique champions. When I say unique, I mean, first time and ones that hadn't done it in a while. So it should be a pretty big crowd. It's going to be a good show. I've been editing it, all the countdown top 10 videos, and doing, all the production and getting everything straight. So it should be a good show.
You don't have any wrecks for me this year.
I really don't have anything on camera for you this year.
Good or bad, huh?
They when they zoom out wide from the leader,
You got a couple shots.
and then a lot of times, if you're operating a camera, you're on the leader, you're going to go to the guy that's behind. You just kind of zoom out, and then you just like slow the camera down a little bit. And here comes the second place guy, and then you pick him up. What we have to do is actually go backwards when Scott's go from like Travis, zoom out, and then go back this way and zoom in on Scott.
Yeah, just like when he won Driver of the Week.
Was no one else running that week?
Well, they had 4 cars. They had 4 cars. They had four cars in the race. He got 4th. Everybody told how great he did.
Because he got a top 5.
Well, he had a
That's
bunch
fair.
of top 5s, but they weren't before cars. But you can get a top 5 like that. But the leader was going into turn 3 when Scott was going by the start-finish line here on the last lap. But he still gets driver of the week.
I missed all them wrecks. There won't be
Well,
one cars left.
if you're that far behind, you ought to be able to miss them.
See, Scott would be the reason why Shane Snyder would be worn out after a Pro 6 race, because here the leader would come across the finish line, but Scott was 50 yards ahead of the leader, so he's got to sit here for 20 seconds waving this flag until finally Scott comes off turn 4 and he can finish the job.
So, Scott, you need to get your banquet tickets.
Get your banquet tickets,
I
Scott.
did.
I've already taken care of mine.
Oh, damn, that's a first.
That's good. That's good.
Well, let's put it this way. I didn't take care of it. Somebody took care of it for me. So, anyway.
I need people like that.
All right.
I don't even get a seat at the banquet.
Well, you gotta stand the whole time.
I get a long chair. I sit at a long table with the DJ, and I sit there. That's where I sit.
Do you get food?
I get food. I do get fed, but that's a work night for me.
They give him the leftovers.
It was a good leftovers. It's good food there.
So now what else you got? I know you got season passes up for sale now and everything going with that. I saw that on the website.
We do. We got seasons passes. They're, depending which one you get, it's a 20 or 25% cheaper than if you were to buy all the tickets outright. So it's a good deal that way. We got 2 versions of it right now. One is our Gold Pass, which just gets you all the Saturday night stuff. But that includes Day of Destructions. That includes Hampton Heat, NASCAR Modified Tour that comes to town, Cars Tour. Get you all of them. That is $300 for the year. And then for $375, that also gets you every Wacky Wednesday and every drifting event. So if you're somebody who likes to just motorsports in general, likes to do all of them, you can grab that one too, and that's $375.
That's
So-
not a bad deal.
So how does that? Do you send the ticket? Email the tickets out for every?
So
event?
you'll actually, so you buy it online through our website, and then we actually make up a seasons pass card with a lanyard,
Okay.
and
If you have
That's-
status.
yep, that's it. That's your season's pass. But I got to do this State of Short Track Racing show
I saw that
on Dave
So-
Moody's thing yesterday. So I had my little slot, but I listened to the whole show, and then Jeff Striegel pops on there with his season's pass deal at Berlin Raceway. So I got a lot to do because what they do for their season's passes are phenomenal. We only sold about 20 last year, but that was still way north. It's one of my big projects here is to really make season ticket holders a big thing here.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to get it to where there's 200 or 300 here.
Can get some perks with that or something.
Yeah, and once we get to a spot where we're starting to really climb numbers, we'll start playing with the idea of like reserve seating in the grandstands for season ticket holders.
Oh, okay.
I know we're also working right now with a few sponsors where if you have your season's pass and you're out at a business, you'll get a discount.
Mm.
I know we're about to do something with Larry's Lemonade where they're going to get, I believe, if you go to their tap room, you can get a 10% discount with the Langley Speedway season's pass.
Okay.
So we're working to build it, and it's going to really, I believe, really help the track out and really reward those people that come here every week. So I'm excited to see what it becomes.
Well, I think you're doing a great job with that. I mean, you've expanded all this stuff and made it. I mean, it's interesting now. I mean, a lot of things people. I mean, it was interesting before, but
Right.
What you're doing now is kind of building on it, and it's making it more exciting for other people with some of the things that the passes and the Larry's Lemonade thing down here. That's great. I mean, I went down there a couple of times and just looked around. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, I actually had to build that myself. No, it was kind of those things where it's like, all right, you can do it. And I was like, but you can do it. All right, you got it. So that's how that kind of went. I mean, I hung the lights. One day, a couple of U-Car guys were out here testing, and I needed that pavilion shed moved back because it used to be right up against the fence. And I looked at all of them. I said, all right, because it was like 4 cars. I said, all right, I'll give 2 of you cars, a little discount, and we'll walk over here, and we're all going to pick this thing up, and we're going to move it. So that's what we did. They're all done.
You got to use your resources.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. But now, how is the drifting doing here? I mean, I haven't been to the drifting yet.
I came to the last one of last year. Actually, it was actually really cool. It's probably one of the coolest things.
And I will say, the kid that works for me, he's like, I never heard Langley Speedway before, but I hear it a lot now.
I mean, they did.
Yeah,
they gave us a ride along, and like it was.
Yeah, if you can get a ride along with one of these guys.
Oh, really?
It's
they do
the
that
most
every
insane feeling.
When you come out here, it's like a kart club event almost.
Yeah, it runs kind of like that. But I want to ask you this because I felt this way when I rode shotgun. When you see them and you see them sliding, you think to yourself, I'm going to have that same feeling I've always had when I spin out racing out here, whenever I've been really loose. The weirdest thing to me was when I was in the car and they're sliding, you feel it gripping the entire time. Mm-hmm. You don't feel that spin out feel.
There's control.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And those guys can drive.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, some of the guys that are out here just when they're out here doing their little fun day or whatever their local event, I guess you would call it.
So there's real quick, sorry to interrupt you. We have 2 big events with a group called US Drift where it's a very much more competition. Then what we do throughout the season is we just have these Sundays essentially where the track's open and these guys just go out and have fun. There is no competition. I mean, there may be some amongst friends,
right?
But that's all it is.
It's essentially a practice day.
Yeah, it's a practice day, but it's more like a play day.
Yeah, and everybody in the pits is super cool. When you come in the gates, you get full access to everything.
Yeah, one ticket gets you everywhere.
And everybody down there is super nice and friendly. Like, just walk up. I didn't know anybody in the pits, and I just walked up to somebody and started talking about his car, and all of a sudden we're getting ride-alongs. And
yeah, it's been growing. It's been great. We got a little bit less competition right now. The group in Richmond shut down, but so a lot of those guys have been coming down this way, and it's really growing into something special. And I'm excited to see. I can't believe we're going to be in year 3 of drifting. Believe it or not, it sounds crazy to say that, but that's where we're going.
So they kind of like do a competition when they do the big competition. Do they have where they get points when they go to other places or whatever?
Yeah. So, God, my drifting knowledge is so terrible. But basically, what happens is you will have competing runs. where one guy's the leader, one guy's the follower. And
He's saying it's like a national points thing.
Kinda. So what they had been doing before is the Cup Series of drifting is called Formula Drift, and those are big time guys. There's a lot. It's pretty large if you know what it is, but it's not something you can just go into. You have to get a license to get into it. You have to qualify to get a license. So what they've done the past couple of years for our big fall drifting event, Battle on the Bay, is the winner of that gets a level 2 drift license, which is basically their Xfinity series. So that's what's been up for grabs. But at the same time, a lot of these drifting guys in the region don't really want to go do that. They just want to run the event. So in itself, it's just a large regional event. Guys come here. There's a lot of money to grab. There's a cool carbon fiber trophy, which I think is fantastic, and the bragging rights. So they're all competing for a bunch of different things.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to come see that one time. I gotta check it out. I've seen it on TV.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, it looks like
Scott
a ton of
Speed and all
fun.
those guys were doing it on TV.
Yeah, your senses are all mixed up as what they would call as a circle track fan, because you've programmed in the back of your mind, if you hear tires squealing, you're like,
You're waiting for the hit.
what's
Right.
going to happen? What's next? And then we'll have a drift event on here, and I'll be at my office, and you have to almost tell yourself to tune that sound out, because that's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to hear. It's just the motor revving, it hitting the chip, and tire smoke and squealing the entire time. It's when it
Yeah.
stops. It's when you go, huh?
But this,
Yeah, definitely have to comment because I mean, I'm sure it's a neat.
even
ordeal.
the club days that aren't the huge U.S. drifting, it's still worth it to come out here and watch. The tickets aren't that expensive. It was like
No,
$5 or $10.
Yeah,
to
it's
get in.
$10. That's
well.
it.
And they got food out here. They have t-shirts. They all have their little t-shirt stands set up,
Yep.
stickers, and
So does everybody kind of go in the pits or are they
outside pits,
Yeah.
outside?
grandstands,
Okay.
and outside pits. And then
Okay.
I mean, it's all wide open,
The
but
whole-
the pits are where you want to be. It's where the
Okay.
action is.
I watched from the spotter stand.
Dwight had a good question. Is there a need for like a season pit pass? And I thought that would be a neat idea if we just paid up front for the season and had a pass, and you wouldn't have to worry about maybe signing in or.
I think that one of the biggest things,
I think you have to sign the waiver.
every time you come, you got to sign the waiver.
Okay.
You have to do that in the Cup.
But you would not want to. I can tell you, just the upfront cost of a season's pass for the pits would probably not
Well, I
be
would
easy
think
for
maybe
many
just
people to do.
for your class or your races, you know what I'm saying? So whatever
Yeah.
it's 9 or 10.
But then you get into rainouts.
There's a lot of things with the pit pass side with insurance and different ways that you split the money that it would be a little different. Now there are things like my race pass and stuff. I saw South Boston recently announced they're going to do that. I'm looking into it. I need to give
What is that?
What is a buy race pass?
my race pass. So the idea is you could go online and pay for all your pit passes that day at the track.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and take care of the transaction part. And then all you got to do when you get to the track is sign the waiver and wristband.
Now, if you do that, are you gonna have a separate line?
We would. But at the same time,
Because if you don't, it's gonna create a traffic jam back there.
yeah, that's kind of thing where, if we were going away, we just start figuring out those logistics, everyone gets together and kind of figure out how this would work.
It's
It's
King
something-
George did that in the karting. I think they were.
Yeah, and
doing
it's
that.
something
Yeah.
I've wanted to do for tires and fuel, is to get that done and out of the way. So you show up and basically, here's my proof of purchase, and then you just go and get your tires and fuel. You don't have to wait at the window. If we could really work to
That's
where
actually not a bad idea.
we
Yeah.
get the line down to where it's not such a hassle. Like, gates open at 12. I don't want anyone to feel obligated. They got to get here at 11
Right.
because of that line. Believe me, I want that going.
I get here at 1 because of that one.
Yeah, that's the opposite, but it's the same thing. I would really, if there was a way I can work to get those things done ahead of time, we're gonna do it. So we're close. Yeah, I see Mason, Pit Pay, all the different types of apps. They're the biggest thing is NASCAR last summer or last fall, one of the two, finally said that those apps do go in line with their insurance and their sets and guidelines. So the door's open, and I'm sure sooner rather than later we'll go down that path.
In the pit pal, that's what Tiffany Daniels is involved with too. Is the pit pal? What?
I'm not sure about all the different types.
Yeah, she left out of the other stuff and went to pit pal. I thought it to be into that.
Yeah, real quick, Dwight. Yeah, anybody can pick up your plaque if you can't make it. If not, those for anybody who can't make the banquet and they are supposed to get a trophy or a plaque, all those extra trophies just come to the track. So just come by the track at some point, pick them up. I think I've still got 2 left over from last year.
Gee, really?
Yeah. Honestly, that's actually pretty low for us.
Yeah, usually
we have way more. Believe me, there's a decent amount of boxes that go back into the truck and back to the track the night of the banquet where people don't come pick their stuff up, or ever come pick it up. So
worked hard for this stuff, guys.
Just like anything else, you're not going to get a check until you pick up your plaque.
All right, I see some more questions rolling in.
Yeah, I was going to get. There's one on there I was getting ready to hit you with.
Yeah, don't talk about Jesse. I'm ignoring him.
Okay.
I'll start with Mason first. Mason's asking if we could have some more organization when the haulers are pulling into stage. We end up just creating a log jam. Yeah, I mean we're kind of working to fix and reformat all the times of everything coming in. We've talked about, doing the outside pits and assigning it per division in certain spots. I know some people have their superstitious spots, but I think we're getting close to a point where we're going to really try to organize that at the same time.
It's going to be hard.
It's staffing. The biggest thing for us is staffing.
This is something that's been tried to be done a couple times throughout the year.
It's manpower.
Yeah.
99% of it is manpower on Saturday mornings because a lot of our officials can't get there right in the morning. A lot of them, for other obligations, different reasons, come out through later day. It's really staggered. We start off with 5 or 6 people. You got guys like, Basil and Crawford, they're down the tech shed, getting everything ready, tires and cleaning, inspecting and everything. You've got our ladies in the ticket office for the windows and stuff. Someone's out here to man the gate, and, maybe 1 or 2 other people start checking everybody in. And then as the day goes on, we got the other guys that can't make it in the morning. They start coming in. We don't just start with the full crew. And because everyone's already got their jobs and is assigning, it's hard to then have, say, another 2 or 3 people out there to start directing traffic in the pits and trying to park everyone.
Right.
I would like to think that if you're a good enough driver to be able to drive your 20-foot hauler to the track, you should be able to park it pretty well too. And for the most part, we don't have a problem at all. I mean, the outside pits are pretty fine. It's rare that we've got so many divisions. Sometimes we got a lot of divisions in one night where it gets a little hairy out there. But for the most part, everyone parks fine. I don't see any problems. The only thing we really got to work on the outside pits is personal vehicles. Really got to tamp down on that, especially on enduro night. That takes up a lot of space. And, a lot of times we'll tell people you can use it to bring stuff to your trailer, but then you got to go back out and park. Most people do it. Some don't. Some try to sneak it. Try to park their race cars in front of their cars, but don't worry. We find them. And then, for the infield, we're going to really try to, make sure parking works out better there. And, just, every year we try to improve things. So we'll keep working on that. I see Greer's asking the tire problems done for 2022. I don't think the tire situation is done yet. I think we will probably start the year off just how we ended it last year with support guys being on one tire and then the, modifieds and late models being on there too.
So here's my question then. I don't have any tires from last year that are mine.
Well,
am I going to be able to buy 5 tires on the first race?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I just know the basics. But we do have procedure stuff because we had, cars come in later in the year. And I think honestly what we're doing until the bank was built up is basically we had other teams just donating tires.
I mean, I have tires, but
but usually the first race,
I know
you're gonna.
The barcode.
I would probably go ahead and say right off the bat, you will not be able to everyone's going to buy 4 tires that first race.
really.
I just don't see that being a possibility. I mean, I could be wrong, but considering last year when we started the season, luckily we weren't in that tire crunch yet. We had the tires; everyone could buy their 4. I feel like we're going to be close to where we ended last year, where, hey guys, guess what? Everyone gets to buy 1 tire this week. Like, that's going to kind of be where it's at for the moment. I'm hoping I'll be wrong and things, get under control a little bit better. But, we'll just have to, see it. Again, it was a week-by-week thing last year. I'd like to think this year it'll be a lot more stable. You won't have to worry about there being a week where there's no tires. But going out and buying a bunch of practice tires because you want to, going out and, just kind of spending free is probably not going to be the case for right now.
The issue you're going to run into is when you got somebody like me or other people that are moving up into a division where I don't have any tires that are registered to me currently.
Well,
And that's
usually your tires are not registered, so we all buy a new set, and those are only tires that you can race on.
Right.
I think what they would do is you could still present some,
Which is
and
fine by
then
me.
we know after 4 races you will eventually get your 4 tires.
Right.
So
Everybody just needs to be on the same page when they get here.
right,
Well, the first race it will be. I mean, unless there is a
yeah,
Issue.
I'll
We're
tires.
still months away from that too.
yeah. I mean, we're gonna try and start getting our hands on tires as early as we can. Normally it would just be March and we'll just place a big order.
Right.
But we know we'll have to trickle stuff in, and that's how we will get the year started.
Well, I got a question that probably is going to be something you're not going to want to discuss too much of. With everything that's going on right now with the new variants and everything with the COVID virus and everything, is NASCAR, are you guys monitoring it, NASCAR monitoring this as far as if there's a possibility of changes coming on, or do you not see that right now?
I don't see it.
Okay.
especially with a new governor.
Well, I mean that's only at the state level though. But I just don't see it. Here's my thing right now. If nothing has been put in place right now where it's 3 times worse than it's been the entire time,
All right, I agree.
I don't see it happening. The biggest thing, you see, even the most, liberal of places is, vaccines and masks. That's about the max you'll really see anywhere. So I don't see it being an issue.
I see where now I spoke to some people. Well, I spoke to one person, I guess I should say.
Okay.
But it was a roundabout with a whole group. But the NASCAR is still looking at the possibility of doing the same thing with some protocols that they did last year. But if things ramp up, they want to be able to do some different things, and they're not going to put anything in effect until you get closer to that time, is what they were telling me.
The biggest thing NASCAR is doing is trying to prevent a situation where their top drivers can't race. That's everything. That is every single rule that they're making at the cup level is all about making sure their guys do not get COVID and don't show up for a race. And it impacts the season, it impacts fans, viewership, everything, because then money starts being lost.
Right.
When you back away to us, we're not going to stop anything unless it's simply something we're being told by government. And if that didn't happen last year, I don't see it happening moving forward. So the only way COVID is still really impacting us is if we have fans out there that are choosing not to come to the track because they don't feel comfortable.
Right. I just know I talked to this guy and he was telling me about certain things that well, I'll tell you what it was. I'll just be straight up honest with you with how it was. I asked about Scott and I getting our hard cards back this year.
Right.
Because we had media hard cards and of course last year we didn't get them because of the COVID stuff.
Right.
And I asked him and he said, well, because of everything right now, if you didn't get them last year, we probably won't get them this year, but you need to, just be prepared because, there are things that NASCAR is looking at as far as protocols and everything. And like you said, I guess, and I didn't even think of it the way he said it. It's about the drivers, about making sure they're there because without them, there is no race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I understand that.
Yeah, it's just that barrier, that they have in place right now with who can be in the garage and who can't, and making sure that it's not absolutely packed to the gills.
Right.
But that's the only thing I know that's their big concern when they put those rules in place. All right. I see a million people asking me about Thursday night practice.
I was trying to avoid all that.
It's fine. I was just saving it. So here's the deal with Thursday night practice. I wasn't here when we last did the Thursday night practice, but I know the problems that, at least on the track management side, that it presented. First and foremost, the track financially was actually at the end of it was losing money on it, and we already know how tight things already are running a short track. So it was one of those things where really not a lot of people were taking advantage of it. Not many cars are showing up, and it takes people to run that Thursday night practice. Anytime here at the track you have more than one car at the track at once, there's a small crew that has to be in place so that that's able to happen. That includes, a flagman who can control the lights of the track and, decide the track needs to stay green. He's watching the track, making sure the track's clear and everything's good to go. You've got one or two people on pit road conducting traffic, working with the teams, letting them know when their round's going to come up. And then, we have to have safety on site. So right off the bat, you're probably looking just at the crew on the ground, 5 to 6 people to run a Thursday night practice. So then you need a certain amount of cars that are going to come in order to offset those costs. So if there is a big enough demand, we'll definitely look at bringing it back. It won't be an every Thursday thing. I think you'd be looking at something more of maybe a monthly thing, maybe less frequent than that. Maybe it's kind of like we'll just schedule 3 or 4 throughout the year. But I think that would, if we did it, that would be the plan moving forward. So, it's a possibility. I see people, wanting to bring it back. I totally get the reasons why. We have the one open practice. And then outside of that, unless you can make it here to the track during our normal business hours during the week, you can't make it. So,
and that's sometimes that's tough for the average person.
And I totally get that 100%.
But
Bill Mullis says we got you in the trap. He just wants you to plead the fifth.
But if they do the season practice, it needs to be just more than 1 or 2 cars coming out there and running.
That's the thing.
For sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. If the racers want the Thursday night stuff to work, we got to have the car accounts to support it. And also remember, all of us here that work at the track, Chuck, Terry, they're here during the season 6 days a week, sometimes more, depending on what we have going on out here. And also remember the officials that are running out here. They're working during the week at their regular jobs.
Right.
And then they're having to come here during their free time to allow you guys to be able to have that practice opportunity. So just remember, just be cognizant of everyone's time. And just with these types of decisions that, we love the track and everything, but we don't want to suddenly ask our officials to give up another night of the week, when some of them actually will work Wacky Wednesday and work Saturdays, and then they probably have some type of affiliation with the car club.
Yep, I've been there.
So, you just have to remember there's a lot more to it than just scheduling a Thursday night so cars can come out. But we're looking at it, and if I was to say we would do it, we would probably right now, it would be a late April, early May type of time when it would show back up once the season's gotten going.
Well, I didn't want to get involved in that one. I was going to let that go.
You didn't want to put him in a corner?
No. And then when Bill said we got him in the box, I ain't going to say nothing there.
Hey, real quick. Hunter, I know you guys in the trucks are looking for the answer on that.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah. So due to some stuff that, I can't really get into on some people's personal sides, they haven't been able to tackle that issue at the moment, but I know hopefully sometime later next week, we can get on that and you guys can get the answer you guys have been looking for.
Hell, he's already got it on the truck.
Well, there you go.
Well, hopefully we'll get Justin on here in the next couple of weeks. And that was a big show for us when we brought Justin on here, and people had a chance to ask him questions from the race director standpoint.
I'm trying to see. Were there any other questions?
What about some sort of track meeting where these questions can be asked?
You know,
Because I know a lot of people asked about rules meetings and none
Yeah,
of that happened. Rule book's out.
yeah. I mean, for the most part, a lot of things we just decided let's just go ahead and keep things the same, and get on with the year and move forward. So, but we will definitely do a better job next year of meeting with the divisions, and we probably won't do it at the end of the season. We'll probably look and do it much earlier in the season when things are fresh in people's minds, things are ongoing. And
I would do it towards the middle, towards the end.
well, I was thinking an August, September type of time frame.
That way the people who are looking into getting into the division in the next
Right.
season have a chance to.
Right. I think,
At least
in
come
that
in.
time frame, we'll start and working to get, the stuff for 2023 going because, believe it or not, as weird as it is to say, as we're going to come with 2022, 2023 is only a year away.
It's right around the corner.
I told someone the other day, they're like, when did you start planning for 2022? I said, opening night of 2021. You start making your notes for those nights, right then and there.
Yeah, and I think nights like this helps on a lot of those questions, and everybody can come back and view them or listen to them when it has the questions.
Vaughn's going to promise too much, and the Bill's going to get mad at him.
Yeah.
I'm the yes man. No, I mean, it takes a lot to run this place, and it's a lot of the balance and stuff I've learned over the last 2 years. But one thing I try to do is have an open door. Whether it's a lot of people can find my phone number. It's really easy. People can find me on Facebook, different things. So, if someone has a question for me, just don't make it a technical one. If it's a rule book one, believe me, I am not the guy you call for that. But anything else, just general questions. If you have anything, give me a shout. Yeah, I know. Do we have grand stock tires? I can tell you, Chris, right now, I think we don't have any tires in the locker. But I'll text you, Chris. Don't worry. I'm not gonna give it out here. I just said if you're good enough, you can find it. But right now we don't have any grand stock tires here. We'll just start placing orders to Hoosier here in the next couple of weeks and just hoping a truck shows up with some on it and to start trying to build up the stock so that, we can get those tires. And, I see people asking the question, he'll post it. Don't do that to me, man. But, we're going to try and do as much with the tires as we can. Believe me, we're not trying to hoard them from drivers. We want drivers build by tires so that we can get things going.
They make a couple bucks on them, and you want to sell.
Believe me, we don't make that much on them.
No, I sell tires. The margins are very small.
Yes. Yes.
But you'd rather sell more than less.
Yeah, exactly. So, believe me, when we get the tires, we try to give them out. The only thing we do is make sure everyone gets the same shot at getting tires.
Yeah.
All right. Now, have you got to do radios and headsets yet?
I'm working on that, Crawford. I'm working on it. Just get me through this banquet, and then all I can focus on is 2022.
Well, it'll be a great banquet. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's always a good time.
And can't wait to get going for 2022. I want to tell you, Vaughan, you've done a great job here.
Thank you.
You got a lot to be proud of, and I know Bill's pretty proud of what all you've done here too.
Thank you.
So I think we're looking to the big times in the future.
It's going to be a good year. I'm really excited. Already trying to one up things from last year and get things planned. So it's going to be a good season. Let's just hope the weather holds out now.
All right. Well, we appreciate you being here. I don't know if you want to leave now. Or
Yeah, I'm going to head back up the road
I know
here.
you got a long trip back home like I do.
Yeah.
So.
That was like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you suck, man.
I can walk home.
All right.
Thank you, Vaughan.
See you guys.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
And we have any more questions, we'll bring you back in here.
We'll post your number in a few minutes.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm not going to let him post it.
Yeah, don't block that.
There you go.
I'll be trying to get in and be like, you're not allowed to come in, sir.
All right, Chris, now we're back to you here.
All right,
Let's see what's going on with you now. You've done getting ready to move up to the
Yeah,
Pro 6.
what went through your thought process? You're doing pretty good in the champ car team thing.
Don't tell me you just want to whoop Scott's ass. Just don't tell me that.
I miss racing with Scott. I'm like, I'm gonna come try and push him. The reality of it is I might get lapped by Scott in the first race, and I can't let that happen. I'm gonna have a mechanic.
Let me tell you what, if Scott laps you in the first race, you're coming on the show the next Tuesday night, and we're gonna have to sit down and talk about this. So you can't let that happen.
So how did that come about?
Something me and my dad have been thinking about over the last year or two. I mean, a lot of people think it's Davey's wreck, and yeah, I mean that bugs me watching that happen because I started, right behind him and watched everything play down. But it's racing. We're not any safer in the Pro 6 or in a late model or in a modified than we are in the Champ Car.
I think we are safer, in my opinion. I mean, the thing that happened with Dave is an unfortunate, a perfect storm type thing. I never thought, and I'm sure you can contest this. You've known the Millards a long time. It's probably the last guy and the nicest guy that you would want to see.
Yeah.
I mean, not that you ever want to see. I mean, even our worst enemy that we hate on the racetrack, we don't want to see that happen to.
No, absolutely not.
But he's the last one you would say, it's the last one I'd want to see it happen to. Not that, he's any better than anybody else, but he is the nicest guy.
Yeah. I actually plan to run both, do a couple wing champ races. They're planning on going to Sobo. I want to go back to Sobo and run. And wing champs are a blast. If you've never driven one, you're missing out. It's like the most intense racing you'll ever do. But I actually sold the cart today, so I'm not doing that. But I got tire money, but I don't have any tires to buy.
But you'll be on the same boat as everybody else when everybody else shows up.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 13 scuffs. So I'm not out tires, but I know when I was running trucks back in the day, because I used to run trucks for 5 years, tires were a big deal, and everything was logged and recorded, and you had your tire bank that you had to run from. And
same thing.
Yeah. But me coming in new, I don't have a tire bank to run from, so I don't know.
Well, everybody starts off the year fresh, so nobody has some from last year.
So who else been helping you get this car ready besides you and your dad? I know you.
It's me, my dad, and my stepmom right now.
Oh, okay.
We're looking for sponsors. I'm going to try and get my boss Bobby Geary help me with some setup stuff. But the car is how it came off the racetrack, and it sat outside pole the last time it ran. So I have more work to do on myself, getting comfortable in the car and coming out here and practicing and crawl before I can walk. Don't come out here and be Superman and sail the car into the corner and not make it out the other end.
Yeah. We've done it a few times.
Yeah.
it's easy to do.
It's not a champ car with $300 front end, so.
Right, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And Clark said he was thinking about a Pro 6, but he said he couldn't get through the window.
They make a little
some people got a little door,
Anyway, you're right, Carson. The rivalry starts today.
It resumes.
It resumes?
It resumes today.
Okay.
Me and Scott raced against each other for
what?
How long did you run champ carts?
5 years, 6 years.
I started in 2013.
I don't really know when I started. I run for Mark for a couple of years, and then
I remember that.
Then I did it. Miles bought me a cart, so we ran that 3 years or so. I still got it. I refused to sell it. I could always put it in the back of my truck and bring it out and run.
I'm pretty sure I could fit it in the trailer to Pro 6. I'm pretty good at packing.
So what kind of things? What have you done? We see you got a Smith wrap, some graphics done. Did you some numbers and some side graphics?
Yeah, Billy Smith is awesome. I mean, he wrapped that car in 45 minutes, and he started putting the graphic on. And me and him were chit chatting. He got about halfway through, and I was like, "Man, that's amazing! Not a single bubble in it, nothing. It's just perfect." I'd have done going through 3 or 4 different sets of decals.
Oh, for sure.
Trying to get it on. I mean, I got it cleaned up. I got it de-stickered. I got it rewrapped. We're trying to find sponsors. I was going to try and practice because I finally squared away a trailer. And then now it's raining and snowing and 20 degrees. So I get to wait on that. But just now I got to start practicing, getting seat time.
So what's your goals for the year?
I want to go for Rookie of the Year. That's one thing I've never won.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. You got Donovan. I don't know who else is all coming, but we got a few. Donovan's going to be tough. I mean, he's got a really good car, and obviously they got a lot of good help.
Yep.
You got a good car.
Yep. Mark Edwards is coming.
Right.
He's going to be a rookie, and he's already got 2 races run already. There's I think somebody else is coming. But there are 2 more good cars for sale still.
Who's the other one?
The 3 car and the 46.
Yeah, the 46 is a good car. The
46. Jason
Oh.
Machad has a beautiful car. And
Yeah,
it's
it is a good
it's
car.
priced very well.
Yes,
Jason takes
100%.
Jason takes care of his stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's a great deal on a car.
Especially turnkey for one that was competitive out here, coming from somebody who takes care of their stuff. So somebody needs to come by and race with me at Scott.
Absolutely.
That's not Brendan Queen.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's up, Robert Skittle? How you doing, man? I need to call you, but I saw you called me the other day, and I never got back to you. I will get to you sometime tomorrow, if at all possible.
Chuck had some stuff to do, so he couldn't be here tonight. So we'll reschedule Chuck for a later date. And that'll be interesting because nobody. I think this might even be a first. Nobody's had Chuck on a show.
Oh.
Before.
And right now, we're catching hell to get him on here.
I mean, we only had to twist his arm and threaten to arrest him.
I mean, I had to go down there and go in the office and tell him he is coming. I mean,
and somehow he still got out of it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I do have somewhat of a crew. I've got Bear's going to spot for me this year.
Okay.
I mean, I'm still racing with my team. You know, me and Hunter are still going to be helping each other out. I'm going to come help him on the truck. He's going to help me on the car with stuff that I need. Jeffrey's still going to help me out on scales once we learn what all the springs and stuff do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing is we're going from a go-kart with washers and 3 bolts to adjust the axle to something.
Yeah, there's a whole lot more adjustments.
Yeah.
And not just one thing does. Well, I mean, it's the same way in any race with go-karts and so
it's the same thing as just going through and learning how to adjust it and what does what. And
well, let me give you one piece of advice.
What's that?
This is a big
I
piece.
don't know if you'd want to take
Let
it.
Scott set it up.
No, that's not that wasn't even close to what I was thinking. My piece of advice is if you ever line up behind Scott on a start of the race or restart or whatever, give him some room.
I thought you were going to say tuck it under and follow.
No. Just give him a little room because I'm guarantee you he forgets what pedal to push.
Well, the closer you are, the less it hurts when you hit it, right?
Well, I'll see if I miss, he'll just push me, and then I'll just jam it, and Gary will just keep on getting.
Drafting.
Yeah.
It's like a
We
wing
did
chance.
All right, I'm just going to tell you probably need to watch that. But that'll be fun. Now,
Somebody's got to give Travis a run for his money.
Somebody does.
looks like it may have a chance this year. So the 3's not racing this year either?
The 3's up for sale last I saw.
I heard it was for sale.
I saw an ad for it for sale not too long ago.
Oh, really?
I know the 9 car was for sale too for a little while. I don't know if.
Well, I heard. I can't say who told me. I heard. White. Who used to race? The spotter. No. Joe White's coming back. He bought his old car, which was.
Yep, that's that car.
Okay.
Because
I understand he bought it and will be.
They were talking to me about it, asking because I know the person who was selling it. And they were asking me to go back and forth and stuff. And I mean, it was priced to move.
Yeah, but I think it's got an old snout on it. I think that's
yes,
all old.
It's got an old snout on it. But I mean, it's got a fresh motor in it. It's a little.
Is that the guy that worked at LJ's?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
He's going on dirt racing, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I
understand Joe bought the car back and he'll be here, I guess. Because he doesn't have a full-time spotting gig anymore. When Priest because I think he was spotting for Priest last year.
So there's another car right there to add to the list. Pro 6 class has doubled this year.
Yeah, I mean it should be a decent field. I mean 10, 12 cars. It's gonna
be fun racing. I've been told it's just like driving a go-kart. Just hold it wide open, drag the brake a little bit in the center, and just keep on getting it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. You can do that. You're pretty good, or you don't have any motor.
So who built your motor for you?
It's got Marty Strickland motor, Marty Strickland car.
Oh, you bought the motor and everything.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We got the package. And Marty's a good guy. I've known him for a while throughout painting and back when I ran trucks and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Now, Marty is a good guy. Real quiet. Doesn't say a whole lot.
And he's smart.
Yes. There's another one we can't get on the show. He's like, I'll be like,
I'm sure he's got some stories to
Oh,
tell.
there's no doubt. There's no doubt. I mean, Marty's been around a long time. I don't know how old Marty is. I mean, he looks pretty good shape for his age.
He's in good shape for his age.
I don't want to say how old I think he is because I don't want to be wrong. We're shooting for top one.
Okay.
He's
All
going
right, well, I
to
just found out that Trent Owens is busy at the shop right now. He said he will try to get in touch with us in a few minutes.
And Trent is where at now?
He's over at Kauling now. He's doing the 31 with Justin Haley. So
That's a full time. Is that the full time?
that's a full. Yeah, they're going full time. But
and that's a good job. I mean, these guys have done a good job. Hell, they won a race. I mean, who is a part-time Cup team can win a race?
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah. I don't know if are they going to still share? I'm assuming they are share information with or technical support with Childress.
Yes.
I don't know if they're getting cars from them because I'm not sure how this new deal with a new car, which you're only allowed, was it 4 cars per team?
4 cars per team, per number is what they said.
But they should be all on the same playing field now, though, shouldn't they?
Yes.
Nobody should have any different tech, so there should be no reason really to get
No,
cars
it's
from
kind of
them.
like
Well, you get the motor. You get motors from these people.
Yeah, they
That is
get
true.
motors and
Yeah,
stuff
so they get-
from.
but all
from
the chassis
from their
stuff is all
builder.
the same. And it's going to take a while for. I mean, I think it's going to be good for the guys in the back half of the field that can feel like they have a fair shot.
It's equalizer.
Yes, I mean it's going to be as equal as it's ever been. It's never going to be any equaler than it is.
And
today.
after this year, it won't be equal again. So
Like I said,
I don't know
after
the gray
everybody
areas.
everybody gets their hands on these
Well,
cars.
there's gonna be some
There gonna
guys
be
that
some
are gonna
little
push.
stuff. There's going to be some
Oh.
little stuff that's going to be.
For sure. I mean, we know we've been in
Yeah.
some of those garages that the things that you were not supposed to touch. They had
I think
engineers
that's a good suggestion right there. We should point out and highlight.
look into. I think it's time for Scott to move up to limited late model. You got one, Greer? I mean, if I knew the limiteds were coming out, I don't know. The limit is still going to be fairly expensive to run compared. I think the Pro 6 class is the best bang for your buck.
Me and my dad thought about the limited class because it's really.
It's
nice
going to be a
go
good
to.
class. I think there's going to be quite a few cars in that class too.
But the cost is still be there.
Correct. I mean,
That's
you got
the thing we
Ryan
talked about.
Matthews he's running late model though.
He's running
Yeah.
late model.
We got Trent.
There's Trent. Let's get Trent on here real quick.
What's up,
Can you hear
Trent, buddy?
Hey,
What's going on, man?
not much. Calling in. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. Look, congratulations on your new job over there with college. That had to be a big deal for you to get that job.
Yeah, I can barely hear you. Trying to use my phone here. Yeah, no, I was. I'm happy to be joining Kauling Racing for this coming season. So, yeah, I'd say it's a big deal for me to continue working in the Cup Garage and working with Justin Haley. So, just looking forward to that.
I mean, that's a good deal that you know they've won races and they know how to win races over there.
Yeah, I can't hardly hear you.
You got
I
ours
don't know
all
what I
right?
got going on.
I don't think our side makes any difference on his volume.
I don't think it does either.
I think it's on your volume there, Trent. But
Yeah, I got my volume all the way up. Let me. I don't usually use my phone, so oh well. Anyways, I can barely hear you.
all right. Well, I just what I was saying was, college won races. They know, and that's a pretty good organization to be part of.
Yeah, no, they've obviously proven themselves in the Xfinity racing. It looks like they started off slow in that series, continued to build up their program, and I mean, last year was phenomenal for them. AJ in the final race, and Justin winning, and their Speedway program speaks for themselves. You always see them at Daytona, Talladega doing really well, and just one of the better teams in that Xfinity series. So, they acquired 2 charters for this season for the Cup racing, and just proud to be a part of that team and try to carry that on into the Cup.
Well, I'm happy for you. I tell you what, I'm really excited that you're over there because I was wondering what you were going to be doing this year.
So was I.
I mean, it didn't look good there for a little while. I was thinking, well, I ain't heard nothing from him. So,
Yeah, I mean, we've talked to different people, and I had some things going with several race teams, but fortunately this worked out. And you have to be quiet about that stuff because you just don't ever know how it's going to shake out. But I'm excited about the opportunity, ready to get the season going. We've been doing test sessions with the next gen car, and getting closer and closer to getting that thing on track.
So how much time have you spent with Justin to get to learn him a little bit?
We've done the Charlotte test, or the second Charlotte test I got to do. I wasn't a part of the first test, but we got to do the second Charlotte test together. We were just in Daytona together. So we're getting ready to head to Phoenix next week and do the final test before the Coliseum race. So really my time spent with him so far has been at the racetrack, which is a good thing. We haven't had much shop time. But I've known Justin for a good while, but it's definitely good to get to the racetrack, work with him, learn his habits, see him on racetrack, and work off his feedback and make adjustments. And so I'm kind of glad we got to test this off season.
When you change teams when you change from JT Doherty over to Kauling, I mean, what kind of things do you as a crew chief you have to set and change things that you do? You may have to do some things differently.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you change teams, I've always told even my employees when they get a little down or they want to go somewhere else, I say, listen, every race team has problems. They're different sets, but every race team does have problems. But, if you're looking at the positive of things, when you go into a new race team, the worst thing I could do is try to disrupt their system or, be one of those people who are set in their own ways. That's the worst thing I could probably do coming into a new race team. So, for me, it's about coming into a new system. Some things are going to be the same. A lot of things are going to be different. But learning that system and carrying that, how basically Chris Rice wants me to carry that through the Cup garage, just like the other guys do in the Xfinity garage. So it's all about learning the system and then hitting the track running.
So in reality, there's not that much different going from one team to the other, but other than just some of the practices that they do.
Yeah, I mean the race car and the operational part are very similar. It's just the systems in place, the notes, how you keep your note track and how you doing the share information, new employees, learning the new employees. That's all changes. It's not like I get to take all my guys that I had on that 37 car and just go to Kauling and here we go again. It's not like that. I got new engineers, I got new mechanics, I got new car chief. And you just have to learn everybody, and you have to spend time and learn those personalities more than anything. We all know that the workload, the type of work is the same. But when you start mixing in different personalities, new people, new systems, it's a lot to learn.
All right, I'm gonna ask you one more question, then I'll let you go because I know you're trying to get home. But what do you think about this new car? How are you feeling about that right now?
So I like the new car. You hear some negative things, you hear a lot of positive things. You hear both sides, but from testing, from working on the new car, man, I've enjoyed doing something different. Let me just say that. I think that with the previous car, we kind of was done with it. We were maxed out. So it's been fun to do something new. I think the car has a great look on the racetrack. I think they did very well with the design of it. The chassis and the aerodynamics of it is much different than our previous version car. So that's all a learning curve, right? But right now, I'm definitely enjoy working on something different. Now, will we hit the racetrack and it be the perfect race car, the perfect package? Probably not. There are probably things we need to work on, things that we need to improve. No different than any other race car. But, I was worried about the Daytona and how it would draft and so forth. But if everything's based on the testing we just did, that racing looked like it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I watched the practice sessions, and it looked like it's going to be pretty decent racing out there with these new cars. So I think you don't have a whole lot to worry about there.
Yeah, no, I was real happy with it. And even the simulated races we did at Charlotte, I know we never got to the final lap of any of our races. and I think that's just a matter of teams getting work on the car more than anything. But it's something new. I think the car looks good. I think it looks closer to your car on the street than what we had gotten to before.
Well, Trent, we appreciate it, man. We appreciate your time and calling in. I know you want to get home, and I know these are going to be some busy days between now and Daytona.
Oh, yeah. I don't think we're going to get many days off between now and Daytona, especially with this snowstorm that hit North Carolina. But nice talking to you guys. Next time I'll get a better device. So I can
all right, man.
better.
Well, we're going to get in touch with you.
Have a good night.
All right. Talk to you later, man.
All right.
Thanks, Trent.
Bye.
Trent is one of the nicest guys in the Cup Roger so far as a crew chief.
He's always been.
And I was wondering, we knew he was out of a job over at JTG. And there for a minute, I was like, well, where's he going to end up? Because there's really not a lot open.
Yeah.
Honestly, he couldn't find a better. If anything, to be candid, I think this is kind of a move up a little bit. Because JTG, I know at one time they had an alliance with Hendricks, but that was gone for several years. They were building their own chassis. They were doing all their own stuff. And as we were talking to Trent and Richmond last year, that all the design stuff had stopped. They weren't allowed to build new cars. They weren't allowed to build new suspension pieces. So everybody was working on all the old stuff they had all last year. So that was all a year's design prior. They weren't allowed to implement new ideas and stuff.
So they're handicapped.
Yeah. And they're on an island on their own, and that's really hard to do today in today's
and now,
racing market.
And now JT Doherty's cut back to one team.
Correct.
And that's going to be even harder for them to gain that.
Well, I think the new car will help them with this scenario. But to go over to Kauling Racing, which, Matt Kaulig's putting a lot of money in, and then they have really good resources, and they're going to be, we've heard some systems that Childress uses that each team, even though you're affiliated, that the 95 team had when they were affiliated with Childress, that they have a screen that everybody that's associated with Richard Childress knows what tires pressures that team is on, what adjustments they made. It's all on a live screen during the race as things are going on. So there's a lot of information that gets shared.
Yeah, and I will say
if they're paying for it, and I'm assuming they are, because obviously the more that you have to pull from, the better
Right.
you'll the better information you'll have to make something better later.
So I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see what all takes place. Waiting on Andrew Fuller to come on. I don't know where
I ain't even seen him on the screen. It's unusual.
So hopefully he'll be on here in a second. So we'll just finish with Chris. Chris, what all you got going to do this year? I know you still going to Dixieland and.
Well, HRKC is looking at doing some Friday night races, so that's going to kind of hurt my Dixieland a little bit. So I'm at least going to do a partial season down in Dixieland. If you haven't been to Dixieland, that's like the most fun you could have on a Friday night.
I have yet to go to a dirt race.
It's go to Dixieland. It's backwoods, short track, fun racing. Like you roll in there and you're in the 80s, and it's cool as shit.
And then you get to watch Bechtel up there swatting bees and stuff like that.
No, those are wasps.
Wow, okay.
Every time about the middle of the summer, I'm sweating my butt off at work, and I drive to work, and I don't even get time to cool down, get up in the flag stand, and there's a swarm of wasps coming around.
Yeah,
You got some spray as you're flagging.
That night I was down there, he was fighting them hard.
Yeah. And it's not
like it's a caution out, or is he just
is he okay? Dixieland's great. PRN came there. I got featured in their
did you?
in their top 8
Mhm.
pictures.
Lenny Paticki? Lenny does a good job with that.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was, and he was in the flag stand, and I'm kind of standoffish. I walk up there. I was like, "Can I help you?"
No, Dixieland is a great place.
Yeah.
For just racing. Go down and have fun racing. It's not. I don't see it being as cutthroat as a lot of other places.
It's super relaxed, and everybody at Dixieland, for the most part, every racetrack has their characters, but everybody at Dixieland, for the most part,
got Jason Manning down there.
Yeah, they're all extremely friendly. They're real people.
Yeah.
You know, they're not worried about sponsorship. They're not worried about saving face. They're not being fake or
And they ain't worried about you either.
Yeah, they ain't worried about you.
No, I will say I went down there and raced. This is a while back. I went down there and raced.
I've seen this in black and white.
Yeah,
He
pretty
probably
much.
wasn't even alive. Were you? What year was it?
I don't remember what year.
I'm
it was.
31, so
It was in your time frame, but
okay.
you were probably
Born.
2, 3, 4. Anyway, but I went down there and I had a little problem the first night I was down
You
there
had a problem.
with the car. The car was not running like it was supposed to.
I've seen a lot of those.
And then, but I'm talking about the people that were racing down there in that penny stock division that I was down there. Them guys, they dropped what they were doing and came over and worked on my car to get me in the race.
You got Robbie Parker to work on your car?
No, Robbie Parker wasn't there then. Robbie Parker was kicking our ass at the asphalt tracks then.
Yeah, I mean that's how Dixon is. I mean that's somewhat of the same atmosphere that you get out here in the outside pits. I don't know how it is down on pit road, but outside pits, wing champs and everything, people are struggling.
I see you, Andrew. We're coming.
Hey,
Let's get it, Andrew. Andrew done got 2 things up there.
One was so
You need to turn one of them things off. Baby. You need it.
he turned one of them off.
What are you doing, man?
You're
how you guys?
seems better. Yeah. Say something again.
Talk
Can
to
you
us
hear me?
again so we make.
You're going in and out.
You got a problem with your internet or something down there.
Can you hear me now?
And you sound like a robot.
What about now?
And you're a little better now. So what are you up to, man?
Move closer to the router.
Not much. Just got home a little bit ago from work and made some dinner and just watching you guys.
You work?
Yeah,
Where you work at?
so I work down in Charlotte delivering semi truck parts for Excel Trucking.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I was getting ready to say, I sure hope I wasn't going to have to come to Mooresville and order pizza and see you show up at the door.
No pizza.
All right, man. I hear you got something you want to tell us about what's going on with you and everything. Tell us what's going on. We want to hear it.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool how this came about, but for the icebreaker, I'm gonna be working with Mark Ware and parts.
It's a secret.
I'll be shooting for Mark and his whole team throughout the weekend.
Oh,
The
well, cool.
icebreaker.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad to see you doing that. You know, so I guess maybe I'll see you when I get down there.
That morning.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get in touch. Where you stay at when you go down there?
I don't know. There's supposed to wind out. No.
Okay, because a lot of people drive all the way back to Mooresville.
That's
Okay. Hey, man, we're going to get your internet straight down there.
And I had come to cable yesterday, but the internet. I mean, I'm on Wi-Fi.
Well, I don't know what in the world's going on with maybe your computer or something. I don't know what it is.
Reception. Can you hear us fine?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, you're like freezing and
It's glitching.
yeah,
You keep freezing up on us, Andrew.
and it always freezes up when your face looks funny.
Well, how do you know when it's normal? I mean,
That's good.
all right, Andrew. I think we're gonna have to retry this again because I can't hear you and you sound like a robot and your face is funny.
All right, we'll try it again sometime.
All right, I'll get in touch with. Hey, look, get in touch with me this week and let me know where y'all gonna be staying at down there. You gonna stay with Mark and them, right?
I believe.
Let's go hang out with Mark first.
Okay, well, let me know, and I'm gonna try to get in touch with Mark or something between now and then.
All right.
All All right, dude. We'll talk to you later, man.
We can't hear
Later.
anything. Were you looking for a roommate?
No, I was just want to know where they were staying. I mean, I need to know where everybody's going to be staying. There's ain't but 5,000 daggone motels around there.
Well, don't stay in the one right down the street because we stayed out there when we were running down there, and it was rough.
Is that the one that has the room with the up the steps and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that one. No, I didn't even.
We stayed there a few times, and then we ended up going over to the mall and staying there.
Staying
that? Yeah. Yeah, I think the prostitutes and drug dealers were on one side or on the back, and we were on the front, or they were on the left side, we were on the right side or something. It was rough. We went down, it's like, we already got a place to stay. They got,
That's cool. They got it covered.
Yeah.
I know you had a hard time keeping up with Eric and Gary Osborne down there.
That's who I was going with. That's the problem.
Is that why they kept staying at that hotel?
Well, it was a deal that, what's the little short dude that come up here and
Teddy.
Teddy, yeah.
Man, Teddy was a great. If he's watching, Teddy was a great guy.
Oh, for sure.
That's one of
Well,
the
he
best.
still is.
Yeah, he still is. That his laugh. Oh my
I was
God.
getting to the point where something happened to him and I didn't know about it.
Well, we were in the DSC series for a while. I don't know if you ever ran any.
I didn't go down there. Around.
But me and Eric did that. We did a couple. We were in Capital City and Brunswick and all that great stuff. And Teddy Burris put on his little traveling wing champ series.
Mm-hmm.
And that man sponsored everything. If he could have sponsored Lap 12, he would have.
Yeah, he does really good with getting sponsors. I mean, he did really good on the
He had
others.
a class sponsor. He had top 3 payouts, and there were only 4 cards.
Wow.
So I mean, that man can market anything.
Yeah.
I wish he lived a little bit closer. He could come be on my team because I need some sponsors.
Well, that's the way it works out.
Well, he didn't sponsor himself. I mean, those were sponsors he got.
no, he went out and got.
Yeah, I mean,
That's cool.
Teddy did a really good job with that stuff. And then, I mean, I think that if the circumstances were different, his class would have done better.
Yeah, if we could have got more. I mean, our best race was at I ran 4 out of 5, I think. One of them was a little bit. It was about 4.5 hours away for us, and that was a little out of our driving range.
Yeah. Well, we ended up going down to Florence the year prior to that.
Mhm.
But then the racetrack opened up here, and it was really, if it was something closer, I think more people would have went down,
Yeah.
but it was just so far.
What's like Carteret? The guys wanted us to come down there and run, and I would love to. I've been to Carteret twice. I've never touched the racetrack. Every time I went
I've
down
never
there,
been down there.
every time it's a beautiful facility. Like,
That's originally where he was going to go, but they,
and they're running wing champs there now.
yeah.
Well, now
This was just before that happened. I think the following year they ended up starting their own class, but Teddy was going to go there, but there was some conflict on some business stuff and didn't want to do it.
But they all want us to come down there and run, and I'd love to. But for me, that's like a 4.5 hour drive. It's a hump for the working man.
Yeah.
And I get down there and it rains out both times. Like, well, do I try a third time?
Right,
How
right,
much money
right.
and gas?
And I understand that's a tough track. I've heard.
Well, good luck to you this year beating on Scott. And
Yeah. Hopefully, I can keep up.
It'll be fun. You'll do fine.
Shouldn't be a problem.
I don't think so. I don't think so either. I'm just gonna be standing up here going, I told him.
I'm just gonna follow Travis by Scott. That's a good plan, right?
Well, no, it's not a good plan because Travis has got to get in front of him.
Well,
I mean,
Travis
Scott's
is-
got to get in front of Travis.
No, it's on the lap around.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you can do it that way. You can do it that way. Now, there's a couple cars you need to watch out for while you're out there, but I'm gonna call names. But anyway,
This
All
is
right.
a fun year. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
all right. Well, that's
Wish
our,
luck, Chris. I'm glad you're coming to run with us. It'll be a
yeah.
lot
I think
of
it's
fun.
gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool to have him running that.
It's gonna be cool to get in a real race car.
Brandon Wood.
What did he say?
Scott said the same thing to me. You'll be fine. He meant to say you'll be lapped.
Brandon's a great addition to the
Yeah.
Pro 6 class. I love messing with Brandon. His wife's pretty hot looking.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah. I'm trying to get her on my team, but
Y'all need to stop talking about y'all need to stop talking about folks' wife and stuff.
Well, it's cool. We're on the internet, so it's fine.
Brandon brings a lot of fun to the racetrack, and we joke and kid, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's a cool
I
guy.
mean-
Me and him have been chit chatting back and forth. You know.
I mean, life's too short to be that. I mean, she's way better looking than he is. I can promise you.
That's another good thing about the class too. Is for a while I thought, crap, I'm moving on to something new. But I know half the people in the Pro Six class.
Yeah.
I've known Scott forever. I've known Travis for since like 2006.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, him out here on Sundays at HRKC and arena
Arena,
racing
yeah,
and all
yeah.
that. Travis and his dad are like the coolest guys ever. Me and him talked for like a half a day just about Pro Sixes maintenance and what I need to do and what I need to look for. And
Brandon, why would you even tell people that?
she'll be at the banquet.
Yeah, why would you even say
What
that?
is she wearing, Brandon?
I guess anything about a ticket.
Jeez, Brandon, don't do that to yourself. Stephanie, I can't wait to see y'all at the banquet. Also, I hadn't talked to y'all in a while.
Hey,
And,
maybe if his wife stood in victory lane, I might get there.
Huh? I know you done hit on every woman in the world trying to get you to victory lane, and ain't none of them got there yet. I mean, poor Jared Clark's mama.
She messaged me one day. She's like, "Are you up in the booth?" I was like, yeah. She's like, somebody in the stand said, somebody's in the booth, and they said something about taking a picture with you in victory lane. So she's like, I know who it is.
Anyway, all right. Well, that's our show for tonight. I want to thank Chris for being here. I'm gonna get with Chris in the next couple weeks or so, and we're gonna try to put together an HRKC night here for the show because we need to get them some publicity and let them come on. And,
There's a lot of hidden talents. There's the next Connor Hall or Travis Wall racing out here on Sundays right now.
That's right.
I was scared you were gonna say Scott Allen.
No, Scott didn't race on Sundays.
That
There's the next
I did one time in the mini cups for one arena racing.
There's the next Bill Mullis, Connor Hall or Travis Wall
Okay,
racing.
there
out
you
here
go.
now.
There you go. That's better.
That's better.
All right, next week's show, we're going to have Willie Mullins. He's going to come on and talk to us about the ARCA test down at Daytona. Blake Lothian is one of his drivers that was driving with him. I think that's how you say his name. And Brayton Laster, who is signed to drive for Willie at Daytona this year, at least. So
I'm surprised I didn't get the phone call.
You were next on the list.
I was after him, but he said, yeah.
No, I think you were like fourth or fifth in line in that group. He had 6 drivers down there, so anyway. All right, but that's our show for
They
tonight.
had money.
That's all it was. They bought their way in.
No
I'm not
no
going,
comment.
I ain't going here with this. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Share and like our show, and thanks for tuning in, and we'll be with you again next week.
Yeah, we'll see Miss Wood at the race, at the banquet, I mean.